Welcome to this video coverage of the sixth round of the Mallorca Open, the tournament I played on Mallorca. Yeah, let's consider what did happen until this round. 5 games have been played and I only lost one of those 5 games against strong Ukrainian Grandmaster Solodovnichenko, but I won all other 4 games, so 4 out of 5, really good result. And well, at that point it became interesting to calculate what exactly would be necessary to score a Grandmaster norm. For those of you not familiar with the mechanics there, to get the Grandmaster title, you need those so-called Grandmaster norms. You need to perform in certain tournaments above a given level. I mean, this is the rating performance that you need to be above. That is 2,600 for a Grandmaster norm. So you basically have to perform as you were a 2,600 player in a given tournament, which is quite something. I mean, it's very often said that the GM title is not what it used to be. This is certainly, there's certainly a grain of truth in that, but it's still rather difficult to perform on a 2,600 level, at least for a player like me who is 2,400 and well, I have my good days and so on, but 2,600 is tricky. Okay, let's say what my calculations came to. With 4 out of 5, I had a performance of about 2,500 something, and it looked like out of the remaining 4 games, I needed at least 3 out of 4 against very strong opposition. So it was really necessary to win, I guess, 3 games, as you probably will lose a game. Or maybe 2 games, 2 wins and a draw, 2.5 out of 4. If I would get very, very strong opposition, like one of the 2,600 plus players in the tournament. Okay, what I got in round 6 was a Grandmaster from Serbia, Dragan Paunovic. He's rated 2,480. So for this purpose, a relatively low-rated player. I would have preferred to have someone even higher rated. I mean, winning is not easy in any case, and it just increases your rating average of the opponents. Yeah, 2,480 with the white pieces, and well, this basically meant I better win this to get a Grandmaster norm. I mean, you need to try at least. Okay, what did I do? I played one c4. A bit surprisingly maybe, but I had my reasons. I had done only a brief preparation, didn't invest so much time in preparing as we explored the island on that day. And I was checking his repertoire, and he usually played d6, so d4, d6, those kind of systems, or knight f3, d6. And later going to either a Philidor setup, like this, for example, or he went like knight f3, d6, d4, and then returning to a King's Indian setup. But in any case, I would have a knight on f3. The case in point is that I don't want to do this because of e5, which is considered very satisfactory for black. Yeah, I'm sorry for the long talk about the initial moves, but it is very important here to understand what I did in the move order. I played c4. I recognized that he is a former King's Indian player, and this d6 business is only a recent addition to his repertoire to avoid certain lines. But then I saw that on c4 he usually goes g6, after which, this happened in the game, I played d4, and now we will transpose back to a King's Indian type of position where I actually don't have the knight committed. So this is what happened. And we're in a regular King's Indian. So I pretty much I tricked him a bit in the move order, so that he wasn't able to avoid the let's say, the lines without knight f3. And in my preparation, I also recognized that against the Averbakh, this is this line, he normally employed a somewhat old-fashioned variation, and I was hoping to get exactly that on the board. And exactly that happened. He played c5, d5, and now a6. This is what I meant with old-fashioned variation. This connected with e6. This is a very old way to combat the Averbakh, which nowadays is pretty much never played by strong players, because it is considered to be very passive. The normal recipe against this opening, once you have played c5, of course you have other ideas, is to play h6 in this position, and only after the bishop moves, let's say it moves to e3, only then play e6. Also after bishop f4, which is probably the more testing option, even after that black can play e6, offering this d6 pawn. Leads to very sharp play. This is a possible variation where black with knight c6, queen out, gets very good counterplay with good development. This is how it is played nowadays, but he had played this before and I was hoping to get it on the board. Exactly that happened. Yeah, quite funny. I got exactly what I wanted in the opening. Yeah, e takes d5. That's one key point. White does not want to have this asymmetrical Benoni type of position with, or modern Benoni type of position, but play with e takes d5. This leads to to symmetrical pawn distribution. 3 on 3 on the king side, 4 against 4 on the queen side. But white always enjoys the space advantage, d5 against d6. And as we see, black has a problem, and this problem is the light squared bishops. How do you get it developed? The only real way to proceed here for black is to play bishop g4 and exchange this bishop. It's simply a piece that has no big purpose, so he went for this castles, knight d7, and now I played h3 to force the trade. Takes, and queen b6. Yeah, this is the type of position that normally arises from this a6 and e6 move order, or this line, and this is the reason why, or this structure is the reason why this line has fallen out of fashion. The problem for black is he has very little counterplay. I played queen c2 now, which is the best move. It gets the queen to c2, where it covers very important squares. It covers e4, it covers b3, and the most important thing is also it gives some room for the bishop to possibly retreat in case of black goes for a queen b4 counterplay. Yeah, in case of queen b4, you probably want to play b3, after which your knight is loose, and this you want to overprotect with bishop d2. Also, you will need the bishop on d2 to cover the e1 square to fight for the e-file. What white is aiming at here is an endgame, actually, and we will see that I get it in the game, and I will describe the finer points when we get to it. He played rook e5 now, attacking this, which I didn't mind. I just retreated to d2, and now rook e8. So black has gotten a very quick doubling of rooks on the e-file. It looks nice at first, but in reality it's not really a big accomplishment, as after rook fe1, this is what I played, those rooks will get traded anyway. Yeah, and he check. Did this now himself. I mean, it was happening in any case. So had this, and now bishop h6, activating this bishop. Yeah, and now a very funny fact. We reached this position relatively quickly. I mean, he spent some time, and I basically played this, almost instantly, all those moves. I had this on the board, I'm not quite sure how often, in two or three tournament games, and some blitz and rapid stuff. So I knew what I was doing and playing quickly, and he played this also quite quickly, but he took some time. The fun thing is, when I looked at this afterwards, I found a game between a white player, Grandmaster Konstantin Lerner from the Ukraine, and Mr. Paunovic, playing black in Belgrade 1988. So my opponent 26 years ago had played this in a tournament game, and exactly the same position was reached. And here in the game in Belgrade, Lerner played bishop to d1. I played bishop e2. It's very comparable, those moves. What white is trying to achieve with bishop e2 or bishop d1, he wants to make the f-pawn mobile. Want to play g3 and f4. And yeah, to be honest, I need to tell you, I find it pretty remarkable that my Grandmaster opponent here is reaching this position for the second time, as it is a totally unattractive position to play. I mean, I personally find it totally appealing to play this way as black, as you will suffer for a long time. You have 0 winning chances, and yeah, it's just yeah, it's on the brink of masochism, if you ask me, to play like that. Yeah, why? Why am I saying that? The thing is, white has all the pluses that he wants. He has got 2 bishops. Very nice. Those bishops are not very well placed at the moment, but they can be improved. Black has absolutely no targets to attack. For example, this bishop is pointing into thin air. It can never attack anything, especially considering that I will play b3 at some point. Those light squared pawns can never be attacked by the bishop. White will also gain space, and this is why I played bishop e2. I want to play g3, f4, possibly g4, and gain space on the king side. Especially f4 is useful in the long run, as it controls the very important e5 square. Black's knights are completely without any purpose, and the only thing that black can do here is suffer and try to hold on. And it's not a very positive way to play. In fact, in this game against Lerner in 1988, my opponent also lost, so it's a bit of a mystery why he went for this a second time. Yeah, he played bishop f4, trying to activate this bishop via e5. I played b3 first. This belongs into the general concept anyway, so I went for this. And queen back. Yeah, the queen is not really doing anything on b6. It looks like it attacks b3, but the reality is white will expand on the king side, and you better have the queen available as a defender. Yeah, g3, bishop e5, and first now king g2. Yeah, f4 immediately also was possible, but king g2 belongs into the position anyway. I want to play f4, g4, and ideally even g5. If you imagine this in your head, once I get to g5, this knight will move, and then the bishop will be active on g4. Yeah, this is the idea. White wants to expand the pawns on the king side, in this way also activating the bishops. And very often there are long-term problems that black has to face. For example, if you imagine I get the pawn to g5, the bishop to g4, at the end there might be bishop c8 and I'm getting the pawns. It looks like a very long-term plan, but I can assure you I have won games like this. Exactly like this, I have won the queen side in a number of games. It simply does happen in the long run. And black has very little active play. Yeah, he started here with knight e8. f4, bishop here, and bishop d2. Yeah, I need to get the bishop away from e1. It's just not well placed there. So bishop d2 is a good move. And he played f5. Yeah, it's very tough for black to play this without f5 in the long run. In fact, instead of bishop d2, you could have thought about playing g4. I wasn't sure about this because of this queen move. It attacks f4, and it's a bit, yeah, how do I actually protect this? I need to play something like this, which I didn't like. Maybe still it would have been interesting to play g4. I thought I can do it anyway, but well, f5 is not something that I'm afraid of. I want to play g4, of course, but I want to have it prepared. Yeah, I played bishop f3 first, queen e7, and knight e2. Yeah, the knight on c3 wasn't doing much. What it wants to do is it wants to go to g3. Yeah, like g4, knight g3, and then two pieces will put pressure on the f5 pawn. Ideally, I want to play g4. Let him take and then push g5. g4 takes, and g5. So that bishop g4 is possible, and the e4 square then is cleared. It's all about this g4 advance that now is being prepared. He went back with the bishop, probably didn't want me to take there. And here we get to a very critical situation. Of course, look at the position. What is the most obvious move that white has in the position? And I saw it, of course, g4. The thing is, what I calculated was g4. Here black absolutely must take on g4. He cannot afford something like knight g7 in this position. Let's say g5. The bishop moves somewhere. In fact, here it does not even have a good square available. But in general, this structure, yeah, the problem is that here he will need to allow me to take it. But what I'm getting at is this general structure with pawns on this here is very problematic, as white long term has the plan to play h4, h5, and even h6. Once the knight moves from g7, I have piece sacrifices on f5. Yeah, I'm going to put this on the board just to show the general idea. I'll play nothing moves, yeah, for black. Yeah, and in this position it is just a matter of time. Let's just do this until I sacrifice on f5, and this will be absolutely deadly. Just, yeah, okay, here there's a check on e2, yeah, just ignore the check on e2. This is what I'm getting at. h7 is lost and those pawns are totally strong. It's just about the structure, yeah. Black here would have queen e2.
Check.
Yeah, it's just to show the general strategic idea what white is aiming for. This is why after g4 he must take, and of course I saw that he will take. But what I was worried about, at first I just wanted to play this instantly, right? Like your hand wants to play the move, and probably I should have in a way listened to my hand, because it was a strong move. Yeah, then I got worried because there is g5. Of course, not a happy move for black, as it weakens f5 and h5. But on the other hand, it probably will gain the e5 square for a piece, as this pawn on f4 will at some point move, or yeah, will get captured. The thing is, I didn't see a very important point on the resource. I saw this move, of course, intending knight to f5, but after knight to g7 in my calculation, I couldn't really find a great continuation in this specific position. However, white has a very strong move, but this I absolutely did not see. I only looked at stuff like this, yeah, let's say taking Yeah, this is not convincing. He will get a very nice square on e5. White still retains a bit of something, but I didn't want to give him this e5 square. Yeah, this is what I saw. I also calculated knight e4. It also is a nice position. But yeah, well, I didn't want to give him that. In fact, it turns out white has a very strong move, and this is pointed out by the computer, queen e4. That's the absolute strongest move in the position. The thing is that black now cannot take himself. Knight e4 is essentially a double attack on d6 and g5. This will win immediately. And yeah, well, black cannot take, but what is the move he should play? If he takes, I get to take on e7, and now I have misplaced his bishop on e7. It is not able to go, oops, not on that, to go on the long diagonal. So after bishop here, after the recapture, black is forced to play knight e5. Absolutely the only move. Otherwise, knight e4 will basically win d6. So knight e5. And after that, I have a very nice choice. I can just return to e2, maybe the best move. Or I can try to make this work, which also keeps a very distinct advantage. Probably bishop e2 is the best move. After which, again, bishop f6 is completely useless as knight e4 is strong. Or g5, they are both strong. This would have led to a fantastic endgame position, really. Queen e4 is just a strong move. It helps to get the bishop passive, and I didn't see the move. And this is why I didn't play g4. And probably this was the moment in the game where I let some of my advantage slip. The thing is, at the end, I decided to play queen to d3, intending queen e3, yeah, gaining the e file or exchanging queens. That's not a bad thing in general. I don't mind that queens are traded. The big point is, now after queen d3, he got in, knight g7, now g4 is not making more sense. I mean, I should have played it the move before. This was the idea. And now after the trade, he got in h5. And this is far less convincing in terms of g4, because black gets to trade another pawn. He can take with the h-pawn. Yeah, the position here is still better for white, of course. But with g4, it was much more forcing and was simply increasing my advantage. While here, I'm better, but I'm not, yeah, I'm not having a close to decisive edge. After g4, I probably would have won the game. I mean, not sure, but it looks very, very strong. The next thing that I wasn't sure about in this position is, should I play against him positioning the pawns on b6 and a5? Yeah, the b6 a5 setup is something that black can do to try to completely shut down the position. Yeah, the pawns on light squares here on b7 a6 long term can be a problem with the bishop coming to c8. I know it looks fantastic at the moment, but there is g4 and an opening of the king side coming, so bishop to c8 can be a point. And I wasn't sure if I should do something against this. Maybe I should have done something against it. I played g4 here, after which he took king f8, knight g3, and now he went a5. I'm still not 100% sure, but I think given the things that happened afterwards, I probably should have played bishop d2 here, just making sure that he cannot do this. b6 is always a bit tricky due to a5. Yeah, not what black wants. Like b6 intending a5. Yeah, so maybe I should have played bishop d2 to give me more chances in this endgame. The way it went down, he played a5, bishop d2, b6, and bishop e2. Yeah, it's of course still very one-sided. Black will never ever going to threaten anything in the game. Yeah, it's totally passive, but how exactly do you break through? He's just yeah, trying to keep this position as is, and yeah, I don't really know how to break through here. He positioned his king on f6 now and covered f5, and his rationale is to, after taking on f5, just recapture and yeah, set up something which is very much a fortress. Yeah, it's very passive, but what else is there? I have analyzed it a bit, and I really couldn't find a way to break through here. I mean, maybe there is a way, but I didn't find one in the game, and afterwards also I couldn't make it work. I mean, it is passive and everything, but I don't know how to break through. One thing, for example, that I tried here in analysis is this: king h4, bishop f2. Yeah, trying to pin here, and yeah, let's say bishop c3 check, bishop d4. Just a sample line, trying something else. This is the key idea: attacking d6. Even this, while being yeah, very passive, I don't really see how to win this. I mean, black is probably holding. Knight b5. Yeah, looks attractive at first, but he's got knight d4, knight d6, knight b3, and I'm still not sure I'm going to win this. Maybe this is the better chance compared to the game. I mean, white, if anyone is better, it's white, but it's still tough to see how to win it. Yeah, I played this move because I thought, yeah, combining this with the pressure here would be a good idea. I went to e3. I wanted to go to e3, knight here and bishop here, but he went bishop c1 to keep the position. Check. Yeah, I gave the check here. Yeah, maybe I should have tried bishop h4 check. Check. Yeah, maybe, but I really didn't see how this would improve my chances here. Yeah, for example, let's say I take here. He recaptures. Yeah, and then here he's got check. Knight h5 check. And yeah, now we only have pawns on one side of the board. They don't think this should be enough to win it. I mean, it's totally unattractive to play like this with black, but maybe you hold the draw. I mean, it's not fun, but maybe still a draw. Yeah, maybe just this, just staying. How exactly am I going to win here? Yeah, well, I went here, and I hoped that I can do something in this structure. My idea was to get the knight over to h4, trying to win the pawn, but it didn't work. Knight g3, yeah, he can just cover it with the king. Yeah, and here there's, of course, he only has this bishop a3 move. There's nothing else, but it is enough. Knight g1, and now important, this tempo on the bishop. I don't want to exchange. Went back, and again he's attacking here. So knight f3 is not working. He can just take here. Yeah, this is what I tried. Check. But he can always attack f4. Check. Yeah, knight c3, knight b5 looks good, but he's got this move. Went here. Yeah, again I was trying this. We repeated couple of times. Yeah, I had the idea to try to reach b5 like that. Huh? Not sure that it would have won or anything, but it was the last idea. But look, yeah, I was repeating once. He's just in time to be able to exchange this knight. Yeah, the whole black game is a sort of a goalkeeping effort, just trying to to play without the other side scoring a goal. Yeah, he went knight b4, trying to force matters. I mean, and I basically need to take now, and otherwise he might even get something himself. So I took here, and here I actually offered the draw. He had offered the draw before, which I of course declined. I'm not quite sure at which point, but I was always being better in some way. At least I had the. I was the only one to being able to try anything. Yeah, here it is just totally blocked. There's no way whatsoever to make any headway. You can give a check, yeah, but black can just take it and stay with the king. Here it's really totally dead. Yeah, I think the key point was when I played queen d3, I probably should have trusted my first instinct that g4 must be the right move, and it was the right move. It is always tricky because the thing is, you see that, well, g4 looks promising, but okay, you see the capture, you see g5, yeah, this type, and you think, okay, maybe it is a mistimed move where black actually is gaining something like the e5 square, but it's a very tough decision to make. Is it a case of, yeah, strike while the iron is hot, where you need to do something, otherwise this window of opportunity is passing, or is it a case of don't hurry? Yeah, this is a very important thing in technical positions, endgame positions, where you don't want to to sell off too cheaply. And I wasn't sure. The main point was I saw knight g3, I saw knight g7, but here I always thought that after this trade his bishop would get active, and I didn't see queen e4, which really makes sure that his bishop stays on e7. If I would have seen queen e4, I would have played this, but I didn't even consider the move, I guess. And yeah, these are probably the points where you need to be alert and find the right moves to score such a Grandmaster norm 2600 rating. So yeah, a bit of a disappointment. I mean, it was a totally one-sided game where I never ever got into any danger of losing. But of course, if you sort of dictate matters the whole game, you pretty much want to win, which simply didn't materialize at the end. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the game anyway. It's a bit of a slow moving battle, but still interesting to see. This g4 point was the most interesting in the game. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.